Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming back this afternoon for our discussion here. I hear it's sunny. Is it? Outside? My name is Leslie Alexander McVie, and I manage the Office Interoperability User Assistance team. And I've been doing that for 5 years as of yesterday. Started off with that team, and we've been managing that for 5 years. When I was asked to come down to Seattle, I said, no way. It rains too much. And then I'm a pilot, so some of my friends showed me some data and gave me some feedback and said, no. In fact, Vancouver has more rain than Seattle. And you know what? It does. I was shocked. And I took their feedback and I came down here, and yeah, we have some sunny days. How many of you were here last week? Anybody make it here last week? Okay, so you were here for Saturday, our sunny day. Right? Okay, so summer, yes. So we can't promise you that every day is going to be sunny, but what we can promise is that there's a unique weather experience every day. Okay, so I'd also like to introduce my colleague Althea. You can introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Althea Champagny, and I'm a senior technical writer on the Windows protocol team. I come from Jamaica, so this is really wet weather for me. But I hope you're having a great Plugfest so far.
Okay, so our presentation this afternoon is not so much a presentation as it is a discussion. And we want to actually ask you, is this going to work? Oh, there we go. Okay, so what we'd like to do today is actually have a discussion with you and get some feedback from you on the content experience. What is it that you want to see as far as looking at, thank you, as far as looking at our open specifications, our open protocol specifications? What would you like to see? And then what we'd like to share with you is some feedback that we have acquired from Plugfest like this and from customer events, other customer events, from forums on MSDN, and some comments that we received from our customers. And then what we'd like to do is share with you some ideas that we have that might help the content experience to make it even better. So that's what we are kind of working towards today. And the focus of our discussion here is to get your feedback. So there's going to be lots of opportunity where we hand it over to you, and we're going to actually make some notes up here so we can take that back and work together with our team to see if we can take and get a strategy together to help make the content experience better. I just want to make sure that I'm totally clear here that when I say content experience, I'm referring to the open specifications, the protocols themselves, and content that support those specifications. Like, how many here are familiar with the pivot? Interactive pivot, tiles. How about test suites? How about, oh, there we go. It's exactly what we want to know. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So the first thing is, the objective is we have two things in mind. Number one, content experience. What do you really want from the content experience, specifically with the protocol documentation? So this is where we say, your turn, okay? And Althea and I are going to make some notes up on the board. So how many of you are familiar with our HTML PDF content right now? Okay, so you're familiar with it. So how would you like to make it better? What would you like to see? Do you have a mic? Is that on? Yeah, okay.
Okay. Basically, the PDF and HTML for us in this current form is very good looking and provides a lot of information. Basically, what I think about it's maybe in addition to the PDF and HTML to get an machine understandable formats like OPN, for example. It's starting, but extend not only for the protocols but for the file formats, for example. So we could write in our own generators like range checker, whatever, sanitizers.
Okay, so let's So let's sum that up into a phrase that we can put up here on the board here. What would you say?
Not machine understandable specifications.
Okay.
So it's OP. In addition to the OPN extent, it's also for the file formats and something like maybe for the other stuff.
Okay. So
All right.
machine, I guess, understandable.
Who else? Other comments?
Versions.
Oh, up here? Okay.
Well, having written two of these docs, one of the hardest things is to try to find a way to make the writing good while still conveying the information in the prescribed format. But recently going through, with my colleague here, going through MSSMB2, we found a number of places where I think it was a triple negative with a backflip into a pool or something. Some of the writing...
Degree of difficulty 2.5,
yeah,
right?
right.
Okay.
The writing gets a little bit cumbersome at times, and that's something I'd love to
So
see.
You want to reduce the technicality of
No,
the...
no. I just want the writing, and I know how hard this is because I've done it. I want the writing style to be a focus.
writing
for improvement.
style to be a focus.
Okay.
Writing style.
Great. Awesome. Okay.
So can I? So kind of. So you're looking to have it read less. It's not. It reads more fluidly, but it's still.
But still technical.
Technical. Yeah.
Fluid and technical.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Who else? Down here. Thank you.
So as far as the HTML documentation goes, what I currently find a bit cumbersome is I have to click through links to go to particular sections.
Okay.
So if the HTML is in a single page format, that would be really helpful so that we can grab, like, search on the page and go to the relevant section.
Great. Thank you. So reduce the number of clicks. Have maybe one for the entire document. Single page format. Awesome. Good suggestion. Who else? It's perfect the way it is. What else would we like to, what do you really want to see in the content experience? Do you just want to see the protocol? Do you want to see related documentation? Thank you. Can you pass that? Thank you.
When I go to a section, I would like to see all the related sections. For example, let's say I'm exploring a request. I would like to see corresponding response, a link to the corresponding response document.
Okay, links to other areas or corresponding documents.
Or related sections. Yeah.
Related section.
Okay, related sections, link to related sections, other documents. Okay.
The request with the response.
The request with the response. Okay.
Mind if I shoot the moon here?
Sure.
A visual cross-document browser.
Visual cross-document browser.
Something,
Awesome.
something where it could be in a section, and if it references, MSD tip, I could see, I don't know, maybe a line over to MSD tip and the relevant section in there.
Awesome.
Oh, so actually not just a link,
Not
but
just a
actually
link, but
He wants
a
to
visual
view.
browser.
a visual.
He
view
wants
of that.
Like if I can somehow zoom out and just see how the documents are connected, and then if I click on a document, I can see what sections within that document point to other documents. And
Oh,
Awesome. Nice.
document
Anyone else?
visual
We've got some good suggestions so far. There's got to be more.
section.
Is there another room of people? Okay, all right. So what you really want as a content experience is some of these things. There's nothing else that you would want? Okay.
I get called and contacted a lot because I know the format of these documents fairly well by people saying, where do I find the beginning? Okay.
Where do I
so-
find the beginning of the
right.
document?
Not the beginning of the doc, but I mean, there's usually an overview document for any particular protocol,
Right.
and knowing which document that is is something I can find it very easily. I know how to look through the, because I'm familiar with this stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who are just starting out don't know where to go to find in the document where to find the original document, which is the overview document that points to everything else.
So
Where do I go and where do I go next?
Well, where do I start?
Where
is
do I
really-
start?
Is really the question. They'll start in the middle of the wrong doc.
right. So you're in the middle of a protocol specification, a topic, and you don't know what the related overviews is. You want to find right down there where to go.
Yeah.
to find
Where's
it.
the root?
Where's the root?
Essentially a back pointer, a clear back pointer to the overview document.
Awesome. Okay. Any other suggestions? Yes, sir.
Really simple. Can you get rid of the square brackets, please?
Get rid of the
Kill the
square brackets. Okay. This is what we need to know. Kill the square brackets.
Ah,
It's the
right,
easiest
so
way to do a
it's
lookup.
unique.
Okay. All right. Hang on.
Bracket SMB bracket is a document. You can do a search on it and instantly find it.
Okay.
Why
I
don't
like
you
it.
like?
I
Why
like
don't
it.
you like
We're
the
getting fired up.
bracket?
That's good.
I guess that's the question. Why don't you like the bracket?
Why don't you like the bracket?
Yeah. Oh.
That's good. Come.
Okay.
That's really good.
It depends on the search engine. No brackets.
Aha.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Depending on the search engine. I like that. Okay. Any other suggestions? Okay. So if we were to look at these that we have on the board here, the next question would be, what's most important to you from the suggestions that have been made? What would be the most important? Yes, sir? Your suggestion, right? Okay.
Heat map on the document.
Oh, a heat map on the document. Oh, you want to add that? Okay.
Yeah, I would like to see which are these sections that are most famous.
Most famous, most visited.
Oh.
Yes. Awesome. Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
As far as most important, knowing which portions of what is Section 3 called? Section 3 in a protocol document. I forget what it's called, but
The state machine.
This
yeah, which
Structure.
structure,
Structure. Right.
no protocol details.
the details.
Yeah, role details. Which role details the current message I'm looking at applies to.
Okay.
That would be most important to me.
Are you talking? You're talking within the document. You're not talking product
Within the
behavior.
document.
Oh, within the document.
Within the document, say I'm looking, at an SMB2 negotiate. I want to be able to say, all right, based on this portion in Section 2, what message handling sections in Section 3 does this
Goes with that.
It goes
Oh.
with this one.
Our section 2 right now does not
Link.
the behavior usage in section.
Okay.
Forward links.
She knows.
Okay.
From section 2, links to behavior in section 3.
Okay. From section 2.
Exactly. Okay. Back to what's the most important, the ranking of these things. Is there anything that we have on the board here that is, I must have, I like that? Must have the technical information. Yes, we know that. Don't reduce that. Okay. We got that one. Anything else up here? No? Okay. All right. So now what we'd like to do is to go over some feedback that we have received from other customers like yourselves at other Plugfests and on surveys that we sent out and on forums and that. Basically, some of the customers have said, you know what, there's just a lot of entry points into the protocol documentation. And it takes time to find the right content, which I think some of you have mentioned here. And once I get to a document, how do I navigate in that document, between documents, which we've heard here? Oh. And where's the related information? So somebody mentioned, where's the related overview? Where's the related? So all these points we've also mentioned here. So you are familiar with the HTML format that we have and the PDF format, right? Everybody knows that we have both of those. So some of the comments that we have received from customers in regards to the HTML format is that, hey, it's easy to link between the documents. That's great. It's search engine friendly. We can go into search engine, put something in, and get into a deep topic right away. And you can bookmark your documents. Some of the things that our customers have told us is that you can't see the entire protocol document, which you've mentioned here, right? That there's a lot of clicks. It's broken down into too many sections. Once you're in a section, you can't do a scope search. Nobody's mentioned this here today, but there's this versioning aspect. Some people can't find the most recent and what had changed from the last one. If you're not using IE or Windows, maybe your experience varies, which we've had that discussion here about our search engines. The experience could vary, brackets or no brackets. And there may be a lack of discoverability in related content. I asked earlier how many of you knew about the pivot. Some people put up their hands, some people didn't. Okay, and some people put up their hands about test suites and some people didn't, right? So I think this supports kind of like some of the comments that we've had here. Does anybody want to add at this point any comment, pro or con, for the HTML experience? Any more feedback from you in this group? Yes, sir.
I think we talked about that before, having access to the older documents. Like if I want to go back to SMB 2.1,
okay.
There's no way of going back.
So access to previously released
archives.
documents, so archives. So that, like versioning, right?
Yeah.
Different versions. Okay, great.
It would be nice to get an old version, because sometimes you based on this, your implementation of the some version, you need to understand why it was implemented this way, because maybe it was not documented.
Okay, thank you. And up here.
Rather than, I suppose, feedback that the cons are so great for me, I literally never use the HTML version.
Okay.
I always use the PDFs.
All
That's
right.
good feedback. That's actually, by show of hands, how many people actually don't use the HTML? Wow,
Okay, that's what we want to know.
That's a
Show
lot of
those hands
people.
again.
Let's
just-
see.
Okay. It's easy to send a link to another person.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So sharing information.
All right, to
But-
share.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's good for
All right.
sharing.
Anything else we want to talk about with HTML, Althea?
Is there, you talked a bit, you gave us some feedback about that it's hard to navigate. It's hard to find overviews, for instance, when you're in HTML. But for those people who do use HTML, why do you use HTML? What's the advantage of actually using HTML?
Mainly sending a link or?
The link?
Okay.
So when you access from your cell phone or something, don't like to download PDF. They want to just go on the HTML.
Okay, nice comment.
The
We
mobile
should capture that.
devices.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Good for mobile
Okay.
devices.
Yeah, I was going to say, my phone better be this big, man. Okay. Okay, awesome. All right, let's move to the PDF experience. Okay, so obviously you're familiar with that because a lot of you say that that's what you use. And that's what our customers have told us in previous discussions, that they prefer the PDF. Because the content you can download and use offline, you can package it up, and it's not all broken up into little parts. Some of the comments that we've heard from customers is that when you download a whole business group of zips, that it takes a while. As you can see in the chart there, we put down the package size, so it takes some time. And sometimes it's hard, like when you're using PDF, you can't navigate between documents unless they're all in the same folder. And most of us know that, but some people don't.
Zip files gets obsolete very quickly.
Zip files get obsolete very quickly.
Oh,
Okay.
what do you mean obsolete?
Okay, so you modify documents every 2 months or 3 months.
Right.
Then if I download a zip file and use that, then I'll be like probably using the
You're
older
gonna throw
one.
the whole thing out and then start, yeah.
Do we have any other comments regarding the PDF experience? Yes, sir. I can see your look.
Is it
relevant to that last comment about keeping a local version, is there a quick, easy way to tell whether it's stale?
Okay.
In other words, I'd rather keep most of the stuff locally cached, but I also wanted to reach out and go, oh, if it is stale, I'd like to at least know about it. You know, that here's the latest version.
So how do we know when it's been updated?
Right.
How do we
Even
know
better
that it's been
would be
updated?
using some sort of update process to make sure I have the current version.
Okay. You guys are making moves. That's good.
I mean, it'd be extremely convenient if we could have some sort of like revision management system or public revision management around it, so that I could just say, you know, am I up to date? No. Okay, upload the new one, download the new ones, but only download the changes.
Awesome.
But it has to be cross-platform.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So did you get that note there, Althea?
Yes.
Okay. Good. This is really good. Mm-hmm.
I'll just mention that even when I have all the PDFs in one folder, on my platform, they don't find each other.
They don't at all.
There you
No.
go.
Yeah. Okay. So.
That's right.
Right.
Okay. You're no, we're not gonna. Okay. Okay, that's great. Got lots of info there. All right. So now that we've found out what other customers have told us, and we now have an idea of what you're all expecting or wanting to see, let's ask you. This is a summary. We've got your feedback up there. So we've talked about seeing the entire protocol document. Too many clicks. Maybe scoping, getting a search within the document's tough. Versioning, we'd like to see something on that. The different platforms. Lack of discoverability maybe of related content. Some PDF issues we've identified. Is there anything else you want to let us know right now?
Can you group various protocols? Like say instead of going through the overview and figuring out these are all the set of protocol families I'm interested in, I might rather be just interested in downloading file server related protocols.
Is there a way of grouping protocols that, yes?
So,
By technology, for instance.
By technology?
Is there another way that you'd like to see us group them? Is there another way that you use protocols together? Another collection that would be better or as good as technology groupings?
whole zip file, but rather just.
So is there a possibility of making collections of groups of protocols that you can zip down and download rather than the whole package?
Sure. I mean, Mike, you already do that. I mean, you have these overview documents which exactly do that, tell you what are the documents which belong to a group, but there is no way to right now.
Okay. So I mentioned too, I asked if anybody knew about, I asked you earlier if you knew about the Open Specifications Interactive Pivot, and I got a stare by a lot of you, okay? We can actually do that using the pivot. There's a lot of things that we've discussed here that we can actually do using the pivot. There is a usability study on the pivot the next 3 days at lunchtime, so you might want to look at that. But we're also going to address that here in this discussion here, okay? So let's look at specifically a couple of questions that you can help us with. This is our current experience. So we have the HTML, full landing page, and we have all the deep topics that we've been talking about. Now, what if we would publish a Word document or a series of Word documents? Would that be valuable to you for tracking, for change tracking point of view? Like a lot of you mentioned currency of your documents and previous documents. What's your feedback on this? What if we offered a Word document or a group of Word documents? Would that be helpful? Yes?
It would be helpful, I think, but it could be at least the major changes. So I could, the tracking should be between the 1.1, for example, and 1.2, not between the 1.111 to the next minor version.
So it would help you track the major changes in the document. Any other comments, if this would be helpful? Okay, what if we, let's go on to our next question we have for you. Oh, question up here. Comment.
Well, you've listed Word documents, which of course are a proprietary kind of a format. If they could be, yes, they are. If they could be yes, they are. If they could be converted into open document format before we download them, so that you know that the formatting and the conversion has been done correctly. Because the biggest problem I've seen is that when you do the conversion on your local machine, it gets kind of messed up. Yeah.
Okay. So you want verified, validated open doc versions from us too. You want verified open doc versions from us too.
Verified.
That would be your last step. The conversion. That would be your last step. Do the conversion and verify it yourself.
Yeah.
And then you know that you have what we and standard fonts, so that we don't mess that up and that kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Good comment. Yes, sir.
The Word document should be compatible with all versions of Word application. If you say that the Word document you release that's latest version docx, it may not work with Windows Office 2005 or Office 2000.
Oh. So the Word, you got that right? The Word versioning with the most current release of Word. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Nice comment. Anybody else? Okay. We have another question for you. What if Microsoft were to remove HTML and only publish PDFs or Word? What would your reaction be? What do you think of that? Would that work for you?
Who would like that? Hands up. Who would like that versus who would like that option?
Nobody's sticking a hand up. Okay, comments. Let's gather your comments.
Having an HTML version is useful, especially for sharing links, for saying, no, this section, no, this section right here. Yeah. And just providing a hyperlink that they can go to, as opposed to trying to specify a page in a PDF document.
Okay.
That the HTML experience is not that good is a different thing, but it should still be there.
Okay, good comment. All right, other comments? Yes, sir.
So unless you guys actually have a PDF engine that can do deterministic flow output, you need HTML. Otherwise, you do not have text that flows properly, and you can't copy and paste everything in the order in which it was written.
Okay. All right. Other comments?
Because HTML is indexed by the search engine, it's easy to find sometimes. You know the keywords, and then something like open specification, find something, and that's all. And then you navigate to PDF often.
Index. Okay. All right.
I didn't capture that one. Sorry. Can you repeat that one?
The indexing. The HTML allows indexing, searching better.
Okay, got it.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Any other comments for not producing HTML? It doesn't sound like. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you for your feedback. So what if we did something like this? This is just obviously a mock-up that we just put together. And what we've done here is we've kept the HTML main headings, and then we put together just a landing page here. So every protocol document would have a landing page and a link to the full document, no deep sections. Okay? And we'd have things like you can get a PDF, you can get a Word, you can get the zip, you can have related resources. Who would be interested in seeing something like this? Put your hand up if you're interested in something like this. HTML, online. We just don't get carried away with exactly what's on this page. The idea is that there's a protocol page for each document, and that you'd have access to HTML and PDF and Word.
So this is just
this, yes. What do you think? Althea and I, we put this concept and a group of people, we've worked together and said, well, what if we did something like this? Would that be interesting? Would that work?
I would highlight the HTML instead of hiding at the bottom there.
Okay, but don't get worried about.
The point being that if you were to rearrange the HTML so it's much in bigger sections, easier to search, cross-linked, etc., then that is the first thing somebody's going to want off of this. I want to go now. Just show me the doc.
All right.
The download is, I can download it too. That's cool. But show me the doc is the first thing I want to, I want to see. If
so you like the fact that the HTML is still there, and you'd like to raise that to the top.
Right.
Okay. Great. Yes.
To answer your question, yes, I like this idea.
You like this idea.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm comparing it against the MSSMB2 main page right now, and this is leagues better.
Okay. Anybody else?
What do you like about it, actually? You like specifically? Yeah.
Better designed, better layout, more relevant information with less clutter.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else would like to make a comment about this page? You like it?
Yeah, it's nice to have, especially with the related information. Will be always include the pointer to the root, to the overview.
To the overview.
Maybe split it into the several related sections, like related to this protocol, to the family of the protocols, whatever.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Great feedback. So what we're doing now is providing you with some suggestions that we've kind of put together as a team from the feedback that we already received. What about this one? What if we did something like this? Now, this one
addresses what you just said, actually.
What you just said.
Feedback. Yeah.
Okay. So this one, we have the landing page that we showed you before. And then if you go to any deep link, what we would do on all the deep links on all the pages on the site is put something like, go to the top of the document, grab a PDF, get a doc, go to the pivot. We'd put links to what we thought was the most that you would use there. What do you think about this? Would this work?
You mentioned actually the overview, linking to the overview.
So that would be something that we could put up there.
There too.
What's the hex I see up there between the links and the table there?
What this? Right. This?
No.
Like beneath the links, but above the table.
This? Oh, I just grabbed a screenshot of. I just grabbed a screenshot of a deep link there. Don't worry about that. What we're showing is what if we put some links like this at the top of every deep link? Would that be helpful? And we've heard that maybe overview would be a good link to put there. So we'll add that to our notes, overview. So with a show of hands, do you think that this would be helpful? Yes?
Kind of partially, because I would still prefer the full one-page format.
Okay.
I would still prefer the one-page format for this. I mean, the links are helpful, but the deep links are not so cool. Like, if you have to do so many clicks to reach those sections, if there is also a single-page format, then it would work.
Okay. Good comment.
Some documents are 7,000 pages. This is not going to be accessible. So, how would you mitigate it?
Did everybody hear Jean-Philippe? Okay, so we need to repeat the question because there's online.
I'm very interested by the all pages. I mean, the entire doc together, but some of the documents are extremely large, 6,000 or 7,000 pages, and the loading experience and the browsing experience is not going to be that pleasant. How would we mitigate that? What would work for you?
Well, we can have. All I'm going to say is like this. This is fine. This is useful. But when you really need to do a search on the web page, this is not very useful. If I am looking for a keyword and where it appears, so that's the reason for the single page format.
You could do something like dynamically load the content as you scroll down to try and mitigate the initial load time. I mean, on machines with lower resources, as you get down and down into page like 500 or something, then yes, you're going to run into some problems. But at least when initially loading the page on something with relatively useful, a relatively modern amount of resources, we should be fine.
Okay, any further comments on this suggestion? Okay. Althea?
So this, we talked a little bit about the PDF experience and what you like the PDF. I'm showing the previous specifications node. How many people know that for Windows Blue, we just released some new and updated documentation? Yay! 2. Okay.
As a part of agenda.
Exactly.
As follow-up to our agenda was sent this link to the updated specification.
It was the first item this morning.
Exactly.
Thank you, Alex.
Yay! All right. So, right, exactly. If you go to the previous specifications node, there's actually a new page there, well, new content on that page that lists the new and updated protocols for Windows. And each of those links for the new and updated docs go just to the PDFs. So you don't have HTML versions, actually, of those new and updated docs. You go to the PDF. And what I wanted to talk about is what could we do, what would you like to see for us to improve that experience? We talked a little bit about searching across PDFs. What if we provided a search catalog for those collections that we created? So you put that in your local hard drive, in your local collection, you're able to search across PDFs. How many people have issues searching across PDFs now on their local machine?
Somebody mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
How would this be implemented?
So there is actually a little file you can generate, a search index file for your Adobe PDFs that will be included in the package, and you include that when you download, so you get that little search index along with your PDFs, and once you have that in the same folder, you're able to search across your PDFs in that folder.
So we would include it in the folder, in the zip folder with all the files, and then it just populates when you open it up.
Okay, and I imagine it would be dependent on my PDF viewing tool to be able to support this index file.
Adobe, the normal Adobe Reader supports it, the basic free version. But yeah, if you use something else, we'd have to, I put a note, we'd have to investigate that, yeah. Oh.
So these indexes will be generated for every package. So the main thing is at least not to give them same file name, because right now there are some overlaps between the packages. Some files are the same.
Yeah.
When you're, because I usually download all specification, copy them into the one folder and see this file will be overwritten, whatever to do.
Right. Yep.
Either create separate shared packages with the shared information.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Good. And then we talked a little bit about the collections, which is great. So creating collections around groupings that work for you, that you need, like technologies. And the third thing is talk a little bit about versions. The PDFs are kind of easier to manage when it comes to versions. What do you think about adding a PDF date stamp to a particular file, so you'll be able to see, oh, this is the version, this date for that version, so you can compare.
Yeah, so right now the PDFs, and they have the version stamp on the bottom of it. Yeah.
But in the file name, yep.
No, I'm just
You just say yes.
Yes? You like
Yeah,
it?
okay.
Okay. Who else would like that idea of having a date stamp? Couple?
No, I'm just saying I like the idea.
You like the idea?
Like the idea.
Show of hands, you like the idea of versioning with the date stamp? Yeah?
Okay.
All right.
So this version, the previous specifications, I'm glad you've heard a little bit about it. Please go out and look at it and send any feedback. We have an email address at the end. We can send feedback about that new experience, what you like, what you don't like about it.
Okay. All right. So we want to hear a little bit more from you. And so we've attended a lot of customer events as well. And so we figured that the best way of doing that, where'd you hide them?
It's right there. Right underneath
right
the
here.
pens. Yeah.
We would really, really like to get you to work with us right now. There's like 10 questions. 10 questions to fill them out so that we can collect them, rather than trying to get this information from you after the fact. You can do this, you can do it anonymously, or you can just.
And while you're filling it out, if in filling it out you come up with another idea you want to share, just raise your hand and we can talk about it and add it to the board. Get feedback. Did you get it? Oh, you didn't get one.
Thank you.
The form, yeah. What did you want?
Oh, do you want to see it? Everybody got one that needs one?
Oh.
Possible way to share it would be put everything into the SkyDrive and share with the people to subscribe to the folder.
Okay, that's a good. Put that suggestion. Would be wonderful. So Athena, we have a suggestion of putting everything on a SkyDrive and sharing.
Oh, all of the downloads, like the PDFs and whatever format. Okay, cool.
I think he needs a.
What, you have a pen? You're good?
He wants a pen. You want to see the question?
All right. Thank you. Okay. Everybody good? Any pens or forms? Nope. All right.
Take screenshots on your phone.
If you have any questions about any of the questions, just let me know.
They can put that on the survey. It's his search engine that he uses.
You're right. Feedback.
Okay, I'll explain that they can.
Thank you.
No, we've got another slide, but we'll talk about the pivot tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Oh, you got more? Okay.
Lunchtime.
All right, thank you.
Yes, that's right. I know. Well, that's good feedback.
So one of my colleagues in the back pointed out to me that when we're collecting feedback, it's really interesting to find out what you would like to see, but it's also interesting to find out why you want it done that way. Because sometimes it's something that we can help in a different way. Okay, so we have an email address right here, and if there's a issue that's really plaguing you that you would like to have a change made so that you have a better experience, you can email us and explain it in detail and tell us what's happening to you. Why is it that you need something changed? Okay. So I just want to, we have one more slide to show, and this basically sums up some of our suggestions, and some of the suggestions that you've all given us here is that rather than having all these multiple entry points, maybe we do focus on one entry point, a developer center, and have one entry point into the protocol documentation. And that maybe there's a landing page for each business group and a landing page for each document. And that links help us go and navigate in the document to various places of the document. Plus, we'd also love to thank you for all the other great suggestions that you've made. And now it's time for Althea and I to meet with our colleagues and put together some strategies that maybe we can make the content experience better for you. So thank you very much. Are there any questions? Oh. No? Okay, thank you. We'll collect your
Thank you.